You've tuned in to Health360. This week on the show, we are commemorating the World IVF Day, which of course is to commemorate the birth of the first test tube baby born through the in-vitro fertilization process way back in the year 1978. How has IVF changed in the last 50 odd years or so almost? It's a journey we will be taking you through with us up ahead on the show. From the first test tube baby to artificial intelligence being used now for IVF, for fertilization. We also have a special conversation lined up with actor, model, philanthropist Lisa Ray. I'm Sneha Mordani. This is Health360. The journey of IVF has seen remarkable advancements over the last 50 odd years, transforming from a groundbreaking experimental procedure to a now widely accessible and effective treatment for infertility. Initially, IVF was primarily used for women with blocked fallopian tubes, but now its application has expanded to address various causes of infertility, including male factor infertility and unexplained infertility. This report will tell you all about IVF's long and very interesting journey. Take a look. The marvels of medical science have turned once impossible dreams into reality. And among its most extraordinary achievements is in vitro fertilization. A beacon of hope for those facing infertility, IVF represents the perfect harmony of science and nature, where life begins outside the womb through delicate precision. Well, it all began in the year 1978 when the first test tube baby was born. She goes by the name of Louise Brown and started with the work that was being done by British scientists Dr. Robert Edwards and Dr. Patrick Steptoe. Their work, like I said, led to the birth of the first test tube baby in the year 1978. This breakthrough revolutionized reproductive medicine. And today, IVF is advanced with techniques like ICSI, genetic screening and embryo freezing, offering renewed hope and the gift of life to families around the world. IVF has truly come a long way, evolving dramatically since its beginnings in the year 1978. Initially marked by low success rates and limited techniques, it has now transformed into highly advanced and reliable fertility treatment. Innovations like ICSI, which is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, pre-implantation genetic testing or PGT, and cryopreservation have improved success rates and allowed for greater flexibility. IVF is now more precise, accessible, and inclusive, supporting a diverse range of patients, including single parents and same-sex couples.
Now still, if we see IVF in the European world costs somewhere between 10,000 to 15,000 euros or pounds, as compared to in India, where an IVF cycle is undertaken somewhere between 1.5 to 2.5 lakhs, which is way more affordable. With the advent of finer technologies, better culture conditions in the lab, and better results, now quicker results are obtained, which reduces the cost of the IVF cycle. Now younger girls also come to us for egg preservation, especially if they have any medical disorders or they're going through cancer therapies or they want to voluntarily delay their fertility. So this is a facility that by their choice they can freeze their eggs.
Medical science has taken giant strides. The newest technology in the field of IVF is 3-person IVF technique. British scientists have achieved a groundbreaking medical feat with the birth of 8 healthy babies using 3-person IVF.
3-person IVF technique is basically when we're using 3 people to have a pregnancy. Now, there could be a lot of ethical issues, so it's not there in most of the countries now. Only in UK, about 8 births have been achieved with this kind of a technique. So what we do is we take the egg from the mother, father's sperm, and we take a donor egg. And from that donor egg, we only take the mitochondrial part and put it inside the egg of the mother. So this basically means that we are circumventing the mitochondrial abnormality and we are giving a healthy baby.
This technique has the potential to protect kids from genetic diseases.
IVF can also be used to eliminate genetic diseases from the families, and this procedure is called pre-implantation genetic testing for monogenic disorders, or in short PGTM.
And IVF is a booming industry in India with a market size of $864.6 million as of 2024. Well, according to IMARC data, the industry is expected to experience a growth rate of 15.4% between 2025 and 2033, potentially reaching $3.4 billion by the year 2033. Technological advancements, increased acceptance of AI-assisted fertility measures, and accessibility are key to the market growth in our country. India's IVF market has seen a rapid surge in AI integration, supported by a 2,000 crore government-funded initiative called the India AI Mission. IVF centers have explored AI and automation in reproductive health, which could be a game changer for IVF procedures.
Now, what we have in AI is we have so many numerous sperms in the data set. Millions of sperms will be there, and we will compare. The AI will pick up, okay, this morphology looks like this healthy sperm. So it will pick up, and which will even miss the human eye. The human eye will miss it. So patients who have been diagnosed with having no sperms at all, up to 44 sperms have been picked up by this AI method because the human eye was going to miss it. So that is how the flowcharts are created, algorithms are created, checking what a normal healthy sperm looks like. And multiple pictures will be fed into it, and the AI software will recognize, okay, these are the healthy sperms, these are the ones I can pick up, they will highlight that, and then the embryologist can go and pick it up.
Outside of India, the first AI-assisted IVF baby has been born. The world's first infant was born using a fully automated and digitally controlled ICSI process.
It is under very tight regulatory control. There are ethical concerns. There are also safety regulations which need to be followed. But yes, it is one technology which can help people who are affected by mitochondrial diseases.
Nearly 4 in every 10 reproductive age adults in India have cited financial limitations as a barrier to having children, according to a recent worldwide fertility crisis report by the United Nations Population Fund, a global agency working on reproductive and maternal health. Access to IVF is still a problem area, and so is the challenge associated with the fraudulent practices. Let's now get you pictures of Asia's first home IVF platform. Take a look at these pictures. Patients now going to IVF clinics, we have an opportunity where IVF facilities can be provided at home. This is Asia's first. News now from the world of fertilization and the strides that have been made in the field. We're also telling you about the growing challenge of infertility. Take a look. Infertility is often met with stigma and silence, but the startling trend shows 6 out of 10 women turning to face healers, black magic and occult practices instead of seeking medical help. Lured by promises of quick fixes or pressured by family beliefs, many avoid fertility clinics altogether. Studies conducted in Lucknow city revealed that a significant portion of women facing infertility initially seek help from many other people rather than medical professionals. The study has involved 200 women, found that nearly 60% of them took help but not medical help, delaying proper medical treatment. Experts warn that this delay in scientific treatment could severely reduce chances of conception and worsen underlying health issues.
So people are not aware that infertility is a treatable medical condition. They feel it cannot be treated. So they basically keep blaming themselves or the god or their karmas for the same. In our Indian societies where we are living in generally joint families, all the trend is changing now. So the elders have a belief that you have to follow the old age practices, try herbal home remedies, go to babas. So because of which again there is a delay for the patients reaching to the infertility clinics.
A major advance in reproductive medicine is helping doctors identify genetic disorders before pregnancy begins. Pre-implantation genetic testing or PGT enables embryo screening during IVF to detect serious inherited conditions. It's actually a game changer for high-risk couples, reducing the need for termination and improving outcomes in complex pregnancies. Maternal fetal medicine specialists say early genetic intervention is now a cornerstone for modern prenatal care.
Pre-implantation genetic testing, or what is called PGT for short, is a complete game changer for couples undergoing IVF. It's a technique that allows us to screen embryos for genetic abnormalities before putting the embryos back into the uterus. By doing so, we can significantly reduce the risk of birth defects and also miscarriages.
Is your sweet tooth affecting your fertility? How can something sweet make life sour when you're trying to conceive? Well, the answer may lie in how your body reacts to sugar. Excess sugar triggers insulin spikes, which can confuse hormones responsible for egg maturation, potentially disrupting the ovulation cycle. High insulin levels can increase testosterone, raising the risk of PCOS, a leading cause of infertility. Doctors recommend cutting back on processed sugar, choosing whole grains, fiber-rich foods, and opting for natural sweet sources like fruit, for example. Well, the takeaway? You don't need to quit sugar completely, just be smarter about it, because your fertility may also depend on it.
High sugar level increases insulin level. This insulin level can cause hormonal imbalance. In women, because of this hormonal imbalance, it can worsen condition like PCOS, thereby causing anovulation and irregular period. In men, it decreases testosterone level, thereby decreasing sperm production, and it can even lead to libido. Long-term high sugar level can cause even inflammation and oxidative stress. So because of high oxidative stress, it damages egg and sperm DNA. If egg and sperm DNA is damaged, it will impair embryo development, it will impair implantation, thereby compromising even IVF outcome.
And joining us today is a very special guest, an actor, model, cancer survivor, philanthropist, Lisa Ray. She's always inspired so many of us, talking very, very candidly about her diagnosis of cancer that she was diagnosed in the year 2009 with. She's announced her diagnosis from the red carpet way back in the year 2009 at a time when not many people would do that. Today at 52, she says she's doing what it takes to build power and not chase youth importantly. And that's where I'm going to begin this conversation with. Thank you so much for your time, Lisa. My question, you've been talking this about a lot, and it really is something that caught our attention that at 53, you're not chasing youth, but building power. That's an important message that really needs to go out. Age truly is your number, is what your videos indicate. That, chasing youth beyond a point maybe is just a sham, isn't it? Lisa.
So I love to say that, I was young once, it was fine, but honestly, this phase of my life is the best so far. And I think that we need to put that story and that narrative out there a lot more, because there's such a premium on youth in the society that we live in today. I think that it's not always been like that. Often women, as they got older, were considered the wisdom keepers of their community and society. And somewhere along the way, I do believe that perhaps big beauty and beauty corporations grabbed hold of the narrative, and they're making us feel that somehow women as they get older are broken, or they're not as relevant, they're not as important, and they're not beautiful. And I think, again, the point is everybody's going to get older. You, me, everyone, whether you're 3 years old, whether you're 33, 53, or 83, we're all aging. So why not change the narrative into acceptance and be able to accept who we are when we are? Because believe me, aging, and I want to say in particular turning 50, has been a huge turning point in my life. In terms of how empowered, how beautiful, and how content I feel.
You know, and that's what I want to ask you. There's a big debate, as we know, around, defying age, aging products, therapies, procedures are like sold like hotcakes, and everyone is, it's finding its takers pretty much in everyone. Which side of this debate are you on, really, as far as aging is concerned?
What I want to say is don't fall for the narrative in society. A lot of it is created to encourage women to buy more things, buy more creams, buy more products, buy more treatments, try to be on trend. And stepping into midlife has actually relieved me of that. I don't feel the need to be on trend or to chase trends. I'm very, very secure with who I am today. And that's the gift of middle age. And that's what we need to start talking about more and more, and encourage women to actually step into their power, as opposed to giving away their power to trends and, the beauty myth.
Lisa, menopause is a reality for all women. You hit menopause at the age of 37. I understand, like you told me earlier as well, it was disease-induced because of your cancer. But you've spoken about how in Eastern medicine, menopause is really, not seen as an ending like perhaps we see it here. It's a second spring. What is your message to women who say, or are made to feel rather, that menopause really is the end of their life? And I know this is a very, very common thought in the minds of just so many women.
Yes, for women in India, often we are taught that it's a decline, it's a natural decline. So I think that a lot of women are not encouraged and supported to say that actually this is a great period of my life. Look at this, often women are free of a lot of their, taking care of their children, their husbands are doing their own thing. This is my time to invest in myself and to figure out who I am and what I want. And a part of that has to do with your health, right? We want to be healthy way into our 80s and our 90s. And the opportunity is there. So now in the West, a lot of people talk about weighted vests for women, where you actually wear a vest and it has weights, so that when you're walking, you're actually doing weight-bearing exercises. Today, there's no excuse. There is a lot of options for women.
Lisa, I'm going to thank you for joining in. And like I said at the outset, your videos that you regularly put out, showing how it's important to work out, lift weights, strength training, endurance training, also important for women. And most importantly, the focus that you've put on this conversation around aging and embracing aging is just so important. Thank you for your time. In this segment of Health 360, we would like to talk about something that often gets overlooked in conversations around health: sleep. Undeniably, it's one of the most crucial pillars of good health, right up there with diet and exercise. But here's the alarming part. Nearly 60% of Indians are getting less than 6 hours of sleep a night. And it's not just about feeling tired the next day. Poor sleep has been linked to everything from weakened immunity and chronic stress to reduced productivity and even long-term health disorders. Quality sleep isn't a luxury. As a matter of fact, it's a biological need. And yet, most of us don't even think about how we sleep or what we sleep on. To help us understand this better and decode India's growing sleep crisis, we're joined by someone who has quite literally made sleep his life's mission. Matthew Chandy, Chairperson and Managing Director of Duroflex, and also widely known as the industry's leading sleep evangelist, is now joining us. Thank you so much for your time. Matthew, we've all heard that India is one of the most sleep-deprived nations. But what, according to you, is really driving this epidemic? Why is it a red alert situation today more than ever before?
Yes, Sneha. So India is a really young nation where our average age is just 28. But we're also a very ambitious nation and we dream really big. So every sportsman wants to be the next King Kohli, every actress wants to be the next Alia Bhatt. And I think every budding entrepreneur wants to be the next Nikhil Kamath or the next Sachin Bansal. And, you know, when we dream this big and we dream on the global stage, then something does get compromised. And unfortunately, that is sleep. So recent studies have shown that less than 60% of Indians sleep for more than 6 hours a day. And more than 25% of Indians sleep for less than 4 hours a day. And these are really shocking statistics. I believe that sleep is the foundation of great health. And if we're not sleeping well, we're making bad decisions. We will have injuries, we will have burnout, we will have broken dreams. And India won't be able to realize its dream of becoming a 10 trillion nation by 2032. So I think it's really important that ambitious young Indians take sleep far more seriously. It's important for their productivity and important for their health.
You know, we often think of sleep as just rest, but science tells us it's far more actually, especially when it comes to rapid eye movement sleep. Can you help us understand what's really happening when we sleep and how crucial REM really is for our mental health, our memory, and even our creativity?
Sure, Sneha. So when we have REM sleep or dream sleep, we get 3 really huge benefits. The first one is emotional detox. We're able to relive memories of the day, but we're able to relive them without any trauma or judgment. And this is because 2 important chemicals, which is adrenaline and serotonin, are shut off. So we're able to replay memories, but we relive them passively. And because there's no trauma or judgment, all of the trauma associated with them go away. So it's great for emotional detox. The second thing is if you're learning new skills, like learning to play the piano or learning a new sport like pickleball, we're able to replay them while we sleep, while we dream, and these skills get consolidated in memory. So if you want to play better pickleball, it's good to have great dream sleep. And the third and maybe the most fascinating thing is that dream sleep is great for creativity. Because of the lack of adrenaline and serotonin, we're able to make loose and weak connections to memories and events while we sleep. This fuels our imagination, this fuels out-of-the-box thinking, and we're able to really come up with new things. So some of our favorite books, films, stories, songs, and even the best scientific discoveries were all made through an insight from the dream sleep. The famous Beatles song, for example, Let It Be, it was inspired by a dream that Paul McCartney had of his mother, who came to him in a dream and comforted him and told him to just let it be. I could tell you a number of other examples, but I just want to leave you with the thought that in a world which is glamorizing and always encouraging us to hustle, if we want to stay imaginative, we want to stay creative, and we want to solve some of the biggest problems facing us, then we must prioritize dream sleep.
You know, you've called yourself a sleep evangelist. Tell us what drew you to this mission personally, and while we're at it, how much of a difference can the right mattress or pillow really make to our quality of sleep?
So this is way back in 2016. I was slouched on my desk reading a fairly complex spreadsheet. And 2 of my colleagues came up to me, gave me a book which has now become a Bible. This was Why We Sleep by Matt Walker. And I had a number of aha moments while I was reading this book. The first one was the fact that if we don't sleep enough and we're exercising very hard, we risk injury. And I was really suffering through a really stiff back. The second big insight was that if we haven't slept enough and we are sleep deprived at work, we're likely to be making bad decisions, losing our temper and fracturing relationships. And this was a period where I was having some very difficult relationships with some of my colleagues at work. And the third big one was also the realization that I was just not able to come to work with sufficient energy. And this was at a time when we were really scaling the business and it required all my focus and energy. So reading this book, reading Matt Walker's words where he really highlighted all the detrimental effects of sleep deprivation, gave me the insight that I really needed to focus on rest, balance and much better sleep. And having learned that, having benefited extremely from much better sleep, and actually the business has really benefited and has scaled incredibly after this insight. I made it my mission to share the gospel of good sleep with everyone.
You know, not all bodies sleep the same, and I understand Duroflex has been doing a lot of R&D around personalizing sleep solutions. Can you walk us through how technology is helping solve problems like snoring or back pain, for example, and what the future of sleep innovation might really look like?
Yes, Sneha, you know, having learned that sleep is so important to and such a foundational element of our health and well-being, we decided to invest a considerable amount of time, effort and energy and money into innovation to bring out the best sleep and comfort solutions. One of the first things we did was to work closely with the medical fraternity to design a new range of mattresses called orthopedic mattresses. These have a 5-zone support. They're certified by the National Health Academy, and they give great spinal support, which is absolutely essential for a great, deep, long nights of sleep. We also realized that people were using their mobile phones and laptops so much that the neck started to suffer. So we redesigned a range of pillows to provide the best cervical support. We brought in a lot of material innovation where we brought in temperature control, we brought in zero motion transfer. We also designed a range of mattresses called Pneuma, where we use electronics and data science, where a customer is able to personalize the feel and comfort of the mattress to suit him or her. In fact, a husband and wife can use 2 different comforts and feels on the same mattress. And finally, in this new age of AI and data science, we've brought in sleep tracking, artificial intelligence and smart mattresses because that is the future that we all live in. So we're really glad that we can bring these innovations into our products to build sleep sanctuaries and help India to sleep deeper, to sleep better and to sleep smarter.
All right, thank you so much for your insight. Sleep, as we know, is that one thing we all need, and yet the first thing we really sacrifice. But as we've learned today, getting it right is not just about hours. It's really about how, where, and on what we sleep. I'm going to thank you again for joining in. Well, that brings us to the end of this edition of Health 360. You can watch this report and many more stories around health, wellness and fitness up on our website. It's indiatoday.in. You can download the app. Also YouTube, Instagram, Twitter or X and Facebook carry all our reports. Our hashtag is Health360, Health360 Plus. Thank you so much for watching. Take very good care of yourself. Bye from the entire team.